All right, welcome back to SOS. I'm Staff Sergeant Badass. I could have kept that song playing for sure. Copyright claim. 20 of them will kill a video. I'm just telling you. All right. So anyway, this is things I think about, and I figured I'd title this one "Silent War." I wasn't sure what to call this because it's kind of a mix of different things, and I guess I'll get started like this. I hope you guys like this. Do I show favoritism towards military? It's a question. Someone asked me the question, so yes, I do show a little favoritism. It's not like it's not like you think. Okay, don't get confused. You know, I don't want I don't want people out there watching this to assume anything weird. It's a respect thing. It's we respect one another, and we've it doesn't really matter what branch of service you were in. We've all been through hell at some point. I mean, it's hurry up and wait for everyone, and not everyone has seen a whole lot, but you know, some people have, and some people haven't. But the ones that it doesn't really matter, because the thing is it's a game that's played that it's got some really crappy moments in it, and some of us have seen a variety of different countries. Some of us have seen a variety of different things and a variety of different experiences. So it's just it's a respect thing for one another. And it's I had someone comment the other day, and they said their son had just graduated in their Marine now, and how excited they are. And I said, well, tell him I said thank you for your service. And why would you say that? You know, we say that. I'm not in anymore. I'm saying it to them now, the ones that are doing their thing now, and it doesn't really matter what you're doing. It's if you're doing it. That's the point, right? Thank you for your service. So it's something that I do, and I keep that going, and it's respect for one another. I'm not doing it anymore. He's watching. They're protecting our country now, and that's just what you're supposed to do. So no, it's not. You're showing favoritism. I don't classify anyone as being higher than the others. I do stop to say hi to folks, and that's just how it is. I guess that's out of the way. But the thing is that we go through some unusual things, and I was thinking of something, and someone brought this up on Patreon. It wasn't this particular topic, but it was something like it, and it led me to this thought, memory. It led me to a memory, and my my grandfather cared a lot for me, and spent a lot of time with me. We did a lot of fishing and unusual things, you know, a lot of good memories, and I'll never forget those, right? And he served in World War II, and they were getting ready to hit the beaches right when they called the war off. They were literally like doing push-ups and getting warmed up, getting ready to, and the war had gone on, and you know there's just a lot of memories that he shared and kind of shared with me. And he was raised during the Great Depression. He went through the Great Depression. It was awful. He had some awful experiences, and he just told it like it was not that big of a deal. It didn't. He was hardened. He was just emotionally hardened, and the way he way he would deal with things is in that manner. He was hardened, and a lot of things that I've noticed that I face is, you know, from experience, from the different experiences, is that I've been kind of hardened, and a lot of folks don't know how to deal with that or take that from me, that side of me, and so going back to my grandfather, while I was on deployment, this is something that a lot of folks deal with, and it struck my memory chord there. With I was contacted while on deployment. I was aboard ship at the time, and I was contacted by the sergeant major, and the sergeant major pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, we got to take a walk." And so I went for a walk with the sergeant major, and then we ended up at the chaplain's office. And then from the chaplain said there was a POTS line and communications with my mother at the time, and that uh, it was my grandfather. He was dying, and we'd already been out to sea for several months, and you guys might remember the the kickoff of the Iraq War, right? You guys might remember all that stuff, but remembering that I had a choice to make, and to be pulled to the side by the sergeant major at that point, I had a choice to make that I was going to be allowed to leave just temporarily. The one individual, myself, there wasn't that, the extreme stuff wasn't going on at the moment. So there was a time lapse there. I had a window of opportunity where I could go see my grandfather before he died, or I could go and be his pallbearer. I had to pick, so I picked to see him before he died, and that it was such a flash. It was just like that, you know. You don't realize, like, there's so many people that have no freaking idea what we go through, and I had that opportunity. Some folks don't have that opportunity when they serve. They lose family members all the time. They could lose, half their freaking family when they come off deployment. They've been gone for a year. A lot changes in a year, you know. Some are longer than that. Some of the deployments are longer than that. But I had the opportunity to see him one last time, and the memory of that was such a flash. And I remember aboard ship, there's this place called the Smoke Pit, and some of you shipwrecked sailors out there might remember. Some of my shipmates out there might remember the phrase, "the smoking lamp is lit," and things like that. But anyway, the lines for those are usually quite long. I remember sitting there and staring out into the ocean, just chain smoking there, because I was given the day off. I was told to go and ponder or think or whatever, and that's what I was supposed to go do that day, apparently. But it was such a flash, man. It was such a flash. And I remember coming home and so many people weren't around anymore and all these unusual things. But that's one reason there. Okay, that's just one reason there. So anytime, yes, of course, anytime I see somebody that's military, I don't hesitate. I will say hi, and you can put your titles of every single detail of your job description and stuff in the comment section, and it's allowed here. This is a place. This is how this all got started. It's the reason why I make videos in the first place, because of my little trip to the VA, and it led to me making these videos here. And I still do this. And I still love to do it. This is what I do, right? It's like my video logs, my vlog. This is me turning the camera on and talking. This is Confessions of VA. But something, the other side of this that I'm thinking about now is I was in a conversation with someone who worked in reconnaissance. He's a reconnaissance Marine for several years, and he's moving into a different job field now. But to get info from other people, that I don't look at it like that, right? I don't look at the is there something going on in the world? I saved this towards the end, so if you're still watching, then you can collaborate with this mixture that I'm thinking. Now, we were in discussions of Norway and gathering troops, and how everything's becoming this movement of troops and gear and setting up shop in all these different locations. And I was thinking about Guam. I remember going to Guam, several years ago, and there would just be one branch of service there. Now there's like everybody's there. Everybody's there, and now it's the munitions headquarters, right? They keep bombs there. So I mean, there's a lot that goes on there. Now we got Osprey rolling out of there, all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, it's a lot has changed, and we're building up locations we haven't done in a long time. We fought a lot of wars, and we know. I mean, over time, we realize where troops are needed, right? Over time, we figured that out. So we know if something bad's going to happen, we know where to set things and set up shop, right? And it gets me thinking about it's the commandeering, right? The commandeering of India by Russia. Russia's giving them rockets and everything else. Makes you wonder about that, and how long will it take before Russia jumps in and calls in all these favors for India, right? I start to wonder, and then was there ever any? I know, right? Was there any kind of deal with North Korea? Was there anything there? I mean, what came from that? Was it the same write-off as all the other times? Just a little write-off? Makes you wonder, right? It makes you wonder about all that stuff. And why did I receive a text message from the emergency presidential broadcasting one? Did anybody else get that message? Because I know I did. I'm not crazy. I know I'm not a lunatic. And I mean, I would have my tinfoil hat on right now, but I know I got a text message from, it said this presidential emergency. And someone in, I think it was Rob or somebody in Texas was like, man, did anybody else get their text? And a couple of people didn't get it. And then the wife, she was telling me about folks at the hospital tripping out over this message. What does it mean? What does all this mean? Is there a silent war? Is there a silent war going on? Is there some secretive thing going on? If anyone knows, that would be great. But there's a lot of opening of old bases, and I mean, a lot of this stuff from the Cold War. And has anyone heard from Cuba lately? I mean, there's just a lot of unusual things going on, and no one's talking about that. We seem to be distracted. Are you distracted by all the things going on? There's a lot of stuff going on, and it can be very distracting, but I don't think the news is really reporting the news anymore. So I think it's just up to us just to communicate with one another. That's why I spend a lot of my time communicating with other service members. Every little chance that I get, right? I'd like to know. So it's always good to chat with. Hey man, we're just moseying on over here. Oh, that's cool. It's very interesting. Why would you do such a thing? Oh man, to inflict pain, to go to strange exotic places in a strange exotic land and meet strange exotic people and kill them, I guess. Anyways, all right, I guess that's all I got. You're watching SOS. I'm Star Badass. Tell me what you think below. Share it with your buddies, your dog, your pet, your hamster. I don't care. Whatever, man. God bless. Take it easy.